So in this video, I'll be talking about Taylor series and Maclaurin series and a few applications of them. So let's start with Taylor series. So given a function f in the radius of convergence, this formula here f of x is equal to sum over n running from 0 to infinity, and this is the nth derivative of f evaluated at a times x minus a to the power n divided by n factorial. So this formula is the Taylor series formula for f of x. So all of this convergence only happens in the radius of convergence of f of x. Uh, so it may be possible that a function is not at all represented using the Taylor series. However, for some common functions like exponential, polynomials, sin x, cos x, and like all trigonometric functions, and most of the functions that we know will in fact have Taylor series expansion. So the Taylor series expansion, the formula that we are given here is centered at x is equal to a, because you can see that this there is x minus a to the power n. So let's try a few examples where we have to find out the Taylor series of f centered at some point x is equal to a. So let's start with the first example, which is f of x is equal to x to the power 4 centered at x equal to minus 1. So now, so since the center is minus 1, we'll write down a is equal to minus 1, and f0 of x is f of x. So that means f0 of a, which is minus 1, is minus 1 to the power 4, which is 1. F prime of x is 4x cubed. So f prime of minus 1 is f prime of minus 1 is minus 4, and f double prime of x is 12x squared, and f double prime of minus 1 is just 12. F triple prime of x is 24x. So f triple prime of minus 1 is minus 24, and the fourth derivative of x is 24. So the fourth derivative evaluated at minus 1 is just 24, and the fifth derivative of x is 0. So this is 0, and all the other derivatives are also 0, because this derivative is 0, so the further consequent derivatives will be 0. So therefore we have found out all the derivatives evaluated at minus 1. So the Taylor series can be written down as um, f0 of minus 1 plus f1 of minus 1 times x minus 1, which is x plus 1, plus f second derivative evaluated at minus 1 times x plus 1 whole square by 2 factorial, plus f third derivative at minus 1 times x plus 1 whole cube by 3 factorial, the fourth derivative at minus 1 times x plus 1 whole cube by x plus 1 4 by 4 factorial, and so on. So this can be written down as so when once we substitute all the values, we have 1 minus 4 times x plus 1 plus 12 times x plus 1 whole squared by 2 factorial, which is 2 divided by 2, plus the third derivative is minus 24 times x plus 1 whole cube by 3 factorial is 6, plus the fourth derivative evaluated at minus 1 is 24 times x plus 1 whole power 4 divided by 4 factorial. So 4 factorial is 24, plus plus all the other terms are 0 because the derivatives will be 0. So, so this can be written down as f of x can be written down as 1 minus 4 times x plus 1 plus 6 times x plus 1 whole square minus 4 times x plus 1 whole cube plus x plus 1 whole to the power 4, and the rest of the terms are 0. So this is the Taylor series expansion for f at x is equal to minus 1, where f is x to the power 4. So now let's look at a few other examples. F of x is equal to sine x at x is equal to pi by 2. So we do the same thing. The formula is the following: fn of, so the center is pi by 2, so I'll just substitute x is a equal to pi by 2 here. So you'll have this, and then from 0 to infinity, x minus pi by 2 to the power n by n factorial. So now let's look at what these values are. So f0 of x is sine x. So f0 of pi by 2 is, it's just sine 90, which is 1. So f1 of x is the derivative of this. So you have cos x, and f1 of pi by 2 is, well, it's just 0. f2 of x is the derivative of the double derivative of sine of x. So the first derivative cos x, so f2 of x will be the derivative of this, which is minus sine x. So f2 of pi by 2 will be minus 1. f3 of x will be minus cos x, and f3 of pi by 2 will be 0, and f4 of x will be sin x, and this process will repeat. So once you have sin x, you will have cos x minus sin x minus cos x, and then you have sin x, and these terms will repeat down. So f4 of pi by 2 will be 1. So these four terms will keep on repeating. So you will have 1 0 minus 1 0 and so on. So therefore f of x can be written down as 1 times, so x minus pi by 2 power 0 is 0 and 1, and 0 factorial is also 1. So the first term will be 1, plus the second term will be 0. So there will be no power of x minus pi by 2, and the second derivative is minus 1. So we will have minus 1 times n equal to 2. So this is x minus pi by 2 whole squared by 2 factorial, and then you have minus, and then you have uh, 0 once again for the third derivative. So you have 0, and then the fourth derivative will be 1, and so on. So this can be written down as 1 minus 1 by 2 factorial x minus pi by 2 whole squared plus 1 by 4 factorial x minus pi by 2 whole to the power 4 minus 1 by 6 factorial x minus pi by 2 whole power 6 plus 1 by 8 factorial x minus pi by 2 whole power 8, and so on. So this series can be written down as sum over minus 1 to the power n. So because there are alternative plus 1 and minus 1 divided by, so there are only even powers appearing, So you'll have 2n factorial by x minus pi by 2 whole power 2n, and n running from 0 to infinity. So this is our Taylor series expansion for sin x at x is equal to pi by 2. So that is how you solve this. And now finally we have f of x equal to e to the power x centered at x is equal to 1. So this is pretty simple because f prime of x is e to the power x, f2 of x is e to the power x, and all the derivatives are just e to the power x. So therefore, when you substitute a is equal to 1, fn of a is equal to e to the power 1, which is e for all n. So therefore, the Taylor series expansion can be written down as sum over fn of a x minus a to the power n by n divided by n factorial n running from 0 to infinity. So this can be written down as sum over n running from 0 to infinity. Fn of a is just e, and x minus a is 1, so x minus 1 to the power n by n factorial, and this is our Taylor series for e to the power x at x is equal to 1. So this is pretty easy. So now let's talk about Maclaurin series. So Maclaurin series is when the center is a is equal to 0. So for the Taylor series formula, you will have f of x is equal to, so once you substitute a is equal to 0, you have summation and running from 0 to infinity fn of 0 because a is 0, x minus a which is just x because a is 0, so x to the power n divided by n factorial. And so the common Maclaurin series for e to the power x sin x and cos x, you have to remember this because these are pretty standard and very helpful. uh, so the Maclaurin series for e to the power x is 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial and so on, and this can be written down in condensed form like this. The Maclaurin series for sin x is minus 1 to the power n x to the power 2n plus 1 divided by 2n plus 1 factorial. So this can be written down as x minus x cubed by 3 factorial plus x to the power 5 by 5 factorial and so on. And the Maclaurin series for cos x can be written down as 1 minus x square by 2 factorial plus x 4 by 4 factorial and so on. So the thing is that you can use these above formulas to find Maclaurin series for other functions. So let's look at some examples. Okay, so the first example that we have is x e to the power x exponential of 2x, and you want to find the Maclaurin series. So we know that the Maclaurin series of exponential of x is 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial and so on, which can be written down as sum over x to the power n by n factorial and running from 0 to infinity. So therefore, the Maclaurin series for exponential of 2x, you just substitute 2x in place of x. You just substitute 2x in place of x. So we'll have sum over n running from 0 to infinity 2x to the power n by n factorial. So this can be written down as sum over n running from 0 to infinity 2 to the power n x to the power n divided by n factorial. So now the Maclaurin series for x e to the power 2x will be x times the Maclaurin series for 2 e to the power 2x will be n running from 0 to infinity 2 to the power n x to the power n by n factorial. So it's just like I said, you don't need to worry about x because it is a polynomial. So you can always like find the Maclaurin series of non-polynomial terms and multiply them with polynomial, and you will have a Maclaurin series for the whole function. So this can be written down as sum over, so x is distributive with the sum, so you will have 2 to the power n times x to the power n plus 1 by n factorial, and this is the final answer. So now let's find the Maclaurin series for 1 plus x minus x cubed times cos x squared. So like I said, the Maclaurin series for cos x is sum over n running from 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n x to the power 2n by 2n factorial. So, but we want the Maclaurin series for cos x squared. Like I said, you don't need to worry about the polynomials, just worry about the non-polynomial functions, which is cos x squared in this case. So cos x is this, so substitute x square in place of x, then you will have cos of x squared is sum over n running from 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n, and x square in place of x, and then you have this by this. So this can be written down as sum over n running from 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n x to the power x square to the power 2n will be x to the power 4n divided by 2n factorial. So therefore 1 plus x minus x cube times cos of x square can be written down as, so this starts from x to the power, so there will be a 1 here, and then you will have x4 by 8 factorial, sorry, um, 4 factorial, oops sorry, 2 factorial and whatever. So my point is that all this power start from x to the power 4, and so therefore this will be unaffected, and you will have x cube times sum over n running from 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n x to the power 4n by 2n factorial. So this can be written down as 1 plus x minus sum over n running from 0 to infinity. So plus, and I'll substitute this minus, I will divide this minus x cube inside, you'll have minus 1 to the power n plus 1 and x to the power 4n plus 3 by 2n factorial. So this is a Maclaurin series for, so just algebra. You just substitute the Maclaurin series for cos x square and then write like simplify this. You'll have this Maclaurin series for the required function. So this is our answer. So this is our final answer. So now let's find out the Maclaurin series for 1 by x minus 1 whole squared. So like I said, if you have 1 by 1 minus x, you know that the Maclaurin series is summation x to the power n and running from 0 to infinity, which is just 1 plus x square plus so on. So if you like differentiate this on both sides, so if you differentiate this on both sides, then you will have this, and you know that you can differentiate a Taylor series uh, inside the radius of convergence. So for all mod x less than 1, you can do this. So that means you'll have so this derivative is nothing but 1 by 1 minus x whole square, and this is sum over n running from 0 to infinity. So that derivative can be brought inside, and so therefore this can be written down as sum over n running from 0 to infinity n x to the power n minus 1, and then n runs from 1 to infinity, because after taking derivatives you have to make this sum from 1 to infinity, and this is nothing but 1 by x minus 1 whole square, because like this is the negative of this, but when you square it doesn't matter. So this is our final answer. Alright, so now let's find out the fifth degree Maclaurin polynomial of exponential of x squared times sine x. Yeah, so how do you find the fifth degree Maclaurin polynomial? Well, we just write down the Maclaurin polynomial of exponential of x squared and exponent sine of x, and then we multiply them and then take the Maclaurin terms of up to fifth degree. So let's write down the exponential of x. Exponential of x is written down as 1 plus x plus. So this time for like finding out particular degree polynomial, I would suggest that write it in expanded form. Write the Maclaurin series in expanded form, which means that instead of writing down this for exponential of x, you write it down like this, so that the computation becomes easier. All right, and so on. So therefore, exponential of x squared will have, just substitute x square in place of x. You will have 1 plus x squared whole squared by 2 factorial plus x square whole cube by 3 factorial, and so on. So this can be written down as 1 plus x squared plus x4 divided by 2 factorial plus x to the power 6 divided by 3 factorial, and so on. And the Maclaurin polynomial for sine of x is just x minus x cubed by 3 factorial plus x to the power 5 by divided by 5 factorial, and so on. So when you multiply them, you want to multiply this and this. So exponential of x squared times sine of x will have whatever this times this, and now you want the fifth degree. So you will just take powers that when producted have degree less than 5. So once you multiply this with this, you will have 1 times x minus x cubed by 3 plus x5 by 5 factorial, and the rest of the terms are just greater than x to the power 5. So therefore I'll ignore them, because I just want the fifth degree Maclaurin polynomial. Plus x squared times, you have this, so x minus x cubed by 3 factorial, and when x square is multiplied by x to the power 5, you will have x to the power 7, so we don't need that. So I can just ignore the rest of the terms here, and x4 by 2 factorial times, so I can, with the same logic, I can ignore this term and this term and all the other terms, because when multiplied with x to the power 4, you will have x to the power 3 times x to the power 4, you will have x to the power 7. So we just want the fifth degree polynomial, so we can ignore these terms. So I'll just multiply with x. And this here, x to the power 6, is not required, because this is like the power here is greater than 5, so we don't need that. And when it is multiplied with these terms, the power will further increase, so we just don't need the rest of the terms. So this is our answer. So we'll just simplify this real quick and check what it is. So uh, so this can be written down as, okay, maybe I'll, so the Maclaurin polynomial for x is, um, 1 times x minus x cubed by 3 factorial plus x5 by 5 factorial plus x squared times x minus x cubed by 3 factorial plus x4 by 2 factorial times x. So this can be simplified as x minus x cubed by 3 plus x5 by 5 plus x cubed minus x5 by 3 plus x to the power 5 by 2 factorial. So this can be written on as x, and you'll club all the terms with x cube. You'll have 1 minus 1 by 3 factorial. Club all the terms with power 5. You'll have 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 5 factorial minus 1 by 3 factorial. And this, like, you can compute this, and this is our final answer. Alright. So now, let's look at some uses of the Maclaurin series. Okay, so the first use of Maclaurin series is, suppose you want to calculate this limit, and so when you expand this with respect to the Maclaurin series, the terms will cancel out, and when you substitute x equal to 0, you will finally have a limit. So let's look at how to do that. So the Maclaurin series for e to the power x is 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial and so on. So the Maclaurin series for e to the power x squared is just substitute x square in place of x. So you will have, in place of x, so you will have 1 plus x square whole square by 2 factorial plus x square whole cube by 3 factorial and so on. So this can be written on as 1 plus x squared plus x4 by 2 factorial plus x6 by 3 factorial plus so on. And so let's look at the Maclaurin series of their numerator here. So you'll have e to the power x square minus 1 minus x square minus x4 by 2. So this can be written down as 1 plus x square plus x4 by 2 plus x6 by 3 factorial plus so on, minus 1 minus x square minus x4 by 2, and divided by x to the power 6 is just divided by x to the power 6. And uh, you want the limit of this x tends to 0, so you will have limit x tends to 0 here. And now the trick is that these terms are cancelling out, so 1 will cancel out with 1, this will cancel out with this, and this will cancel out with this, and you just have x to the power 6 by 3 factorial plus, I don't know, x to the power 8 by 4 factorial and so on, divided by x to the power 6, and limit x tends to 0. So this right here, so when you divide by x to the power 6, you will have limit x tends to 0, 1 by 3 factorial plus x square by 4 factorial plus so on. So when you substitute x is equal to 0 here, these terms will all have power of x. So when you substitute 0, these are just cancelling out, so there will just be 0. So the answer is just 1 by 3 factorial, and this is our final answer. So in fact this limit is equal to 1 by 3 factorial, which is just 1 by 6. So that is how you solve this problem. So let's look at another example. You are asked to compute this function, and you can't like compute this integration using your standard techniques. So Maclaurin series is helpful in such cases. So you know that the Maclaurin series for sine x is x minus x cubed by 3 factorial plus x to the power 5 by 5 factorial and so on. So therefore sine x by x will have the Maclaurin series as x minus x cubed by 3 factorial plus x5 by 5 factorial and so on divided by x. So this can be written down as, so 1 minus x square by 3 factorial plus x4 by 5 factorial and so on. Or this can be thought of as sum over minus 1 to the power n x to the power 2n by 2n plus 1 factorial and running from 0 to infinity. Alright. So now the integration of this function can just be written down as the integration of the Maclaurin series because they are equal. So this, and this can be written down as, so you can interchange the sum and the integration sign, but you need some convergence theorems here. But for the sake of this course, we can just assume that we can interchange the sum and integration sign. So this is an infinite sum. If this were a finite sum, then you know that integration of f plus g is just integration f plus integration g. But what happens when these are infinitely many functions? Can you still do that? So turns out that is not always the case. But in case of convergence, if this is like absolutely convergent and uniformly convergent, then you can do this. So we don't need to worry about that. We'll just interchange the summation and integration sign. And this can be written down as minus 1 to the power n x 2n plus 1 factorial times x to the power 2n plus 1 by 2n plus 1. So this is some function of x, and we don't know what this function is. We just know the Maclaurin expansion of that function. And this is of course our final answer. So now let's look at the final example. We want to show that pi by 4 is 1 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5 minus 1 by 7 and so on, using the Maclaurin series of tan inverse x. So how do you find the Maclaurin series of tan inverse x? We did this in the last class. So you will just take f of x is equal to tan inverse x, and because you know that the derivative is this, the derivative of f of x is 1 by 1 plus x squared, right? So therefore this can be turned on as 1 by 1 minus x squared, and so you know that 1 by 1 minus y is summation y to the power n and running from 0 to infinity. So therefore 1 by, when you substitute y is equal to minus x squared here, you'll have 1 by 1 plus x squared is equal to um, sum over just y equal to minus x squared here, and running from 0 to infinity. So this can be written on as sum over n running from 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n x to the power 2n. But this is the Maclaurin polynomial for f prime of x. So the Maclaurin polynomial for f of x will be the integration of this, and this will be just the integration of this series. So I'm interchanging the sum and integration sign here, and you'll have integration of x to the power 2 and dx. So this can be written down as x to the power 2n plus 1 by 2n plus 1. So this is the Maclaurin polynomial for tan inverse x. Alright, and now so we have found out that tan inverse x is written down as sum over minus 1 to the power n x to the power x to the power 2n plus 1 by 2n plus 1, 2n plus 1 by 2n plus 1. And now just substitute x is equal to 1 in this case. So you will have tan inverse 1 is pi by 4 is equal to, substitute x equal to 1 here, and you'll have minus 1 to the power m, and 1 to the power 2n plus 1 is just 1 by 2n plus 1. So which can be thought of as 1 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5 minus 1 by 7 and so on. So this is what we have shown, hence proved. Right. So that is the end of this class.